Good morning. This is Constance from Mrs. T Weddings. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I am a wedding planner and I focused on relaxed luxury. So a lot of people will be thinking, what on earth is relaxed luxury? And that is about getting the absolute best things for your wedding, but in a way that's really authentic to you. It gets rid of all the stuffiness of what tradition says you have to have, and having a wedding that's truly about you and how you want to have it. And there's a lot of fun involved with a relaxed luxury wedding. So with that in mind, I thought it'd be really useful just to talk about what a wedding planner does, how I work, and what you can expect. Because a lot of people, I've literally just come off a consultation from a new couple and they said, we were so worried that wedding planners were just about doing these huge kind of Kim Kardashian weddings, and we didn't know whether it would really be something we could feasibly expect to do. All of my couples work. All of my couples are super busy managing their lives already. And so bringing me on board is purely about being able to let go of the stress of wedding planning. So it's not about glitz and glam and paparazzi and things like that. Yeah, of course, totally, that is another part of wedding planning. But for most brides, most couples, it's about somebody being there to make sure you're guided through that wedding planning journey, somebody to hold your hand, but also to take the lead. I think especially at the moment, I've been inundated with inquiries this week. It's been bonkers because so many couples are just so unsure what to do and they really want an expert to give them a bit of advice. And so a wedding planner is there to really help with that. Partly from the advice, partly from the practical of getting stuff done, and then for the execution to make sure that you have the best day of your life. And it will be, there's no two ways about it. Even if things don't go quite how you expected, it'll still be the best day of your life. Don't worry about it. We'll make sure of it. So I've got a small team that I work with and we make sure that everything that needs to be done is done perfectly. I will get to know you as a couple so well. I'll spend so much time getting to know you. I'll ask all sorts of random questions and you'll think, why on earth does she care where my parents live? Or something like that. I just want to know, where do you eat out? What do you drink? What's your favourite things to do? And once I really get to ask these questions, I get a really quick understanding of who you are as a couple. And then I'm able to kind of be your right-hand woman and to be able to start doing a little bit of mind reading. Back in the day, I used to be a PA and mind reading was always my ambition. As soon as I could mind read my boss, I knew I was doing pretty well in the job. So it's all about being able to mind read what you as a couple are wanting, needing, and expecting so that I can execute your dreams really well. Now, there's lots of getting to know each other, but then there's lots of practicalities as well. For every couple, the service that I'm providing will also be different. For some people, it very much is a PA role that you need. For others, it's much more of a creative role. We're doing the styling, we're thinking about the look and the feel of your wedding and putting together an awesome team of suppliers to execute your vision and ideas that you've got in your head and making it into a reality. It's, or it might be much more of an operational side of things, that it's about execution and being basically the operations director to your wedding. So there's lots of different ways that I'll be supporting my couples, and every couple are totally different in what their requirements are. And I tweak how I work for each and every couple. You as a couple are as involved as you want to be. If you want to be hands deep, getting really stuck in and going to all the consultations and learning all about the different suppliers and looking at every quote and looking at different fabric samples and things like that, absolutely, yeah, let's do it together. And I'll just be right by your side, making sure that we get the right decisions made in the right time frames. However, if you're much more like, I think I'm going to stand away and let Constance make the decisions, no problem. I'm here, I'm doing it, and I will just check in with you to make sure that you're happy with what I think is the right decision. So, one thing I use is something called Aisle Planner. Aisle Planner is an online cloud-based platform. It's a wedding planning platform that's available to wedding planners. They also have gorgeous inspirational photos and things on there as well, so you can see all sorts of articles. But if you work with me, you get access to Aisle Planner and we will plan your whole wedding on there. It's cloud-based, so you can log in wherever you are. Your suppliers get access as well. We will do everything from budget management to timelines, to the creative side, to all your contacts, to all your contracts, guest list manager, wedding website, RSVP tracking, dietary requirements, you name it, we've got it all in one system, in one place, and it works seamlessly. We make sure that every little detail goes in there, from the smallest things such as my niece will be, or not my niece, your niece, will be throwing the petals as the bride walks down the aisle, to the bigger things such as the wedding budget for our entire wedding is. So we'll go through everything in there, and it's such a fabulous system. So you always know where I'm up to in planning your wedding. Everything I do, I log in there, so you can always see what I'm up to. We'll also have lots of contact, don't worry. I speak to my couples pretty much, if not daily at the moment, certainly, then it's always weekly, and we have a monthly catch-up call as well to make sure that everything's on track. Wedding planners offer lots of different services, and I think, it's really worth explaining what those are, because it can get really confusing having so much information fired at you and not really knowing what you need. So there's full wedding planning. That is where the moment you get engaged, you go, I need a wedding planner, and we get going. You haven't got a venue, you haven't got a dress, you haven't got a caterer, you haven't got anything yet. And the planner will step in and be able to work with you to execute the whole vision. Partial planning is where you've done some of the planning yourself, well done, and then I'll step in to help from then on. So it would be potentially that you've got your venue, your caterer, photographer and florist sorted, but now you need to organise the rest. And so at that point, I'll step in and start helping you. The on-the-day coordination is one that a lot of people have heard of, and especially if you've got a dry hire venue or a marquee, that's one that people really like to have, an on-the-day coordinator. And that starts 6 weeks before, working with you to make sure that all your planning that you've completed today is perfect. Any glitches, any little issues, just iron them out and make sure that they all disappear, so that then on your wedding day, everything's perfect. I'll be your point of contact for all your suppliers. I'll make sure they execute exactly what you've contracted them to. I also offer consultancy. So if you just think this is all getting a little bit overwhelming, potentially this week, some of you, then you just need to give me a shout and we'll book in a few hours to go through, or even, half an hour to go through what your dilemma is, what's going on for you at that time. Bring me up to speed, and then I'll give you an estimate on how long it's going to take me to sort that problem out for you and how much that will be in accordance. So it could be something like, I've lost track of all my RSVPs, they're all in my mailbox, but I can't figure out what's going on. Can you just get it all sorted? No problem. I'll do a spreadsheet, I'll sort it all out for you, no problem. If it's, I've sorted all my suppliers, but I just can't find a makeup artist that I like, no problem. I'll go and get you some, tell me your budget, tell me your date, tell me what kind of look you're going for, show me your Pinterest board, we'll go from there. So I can work with you for whichever elements of your wedding you need support with. So that kind of gives you a bit of an overview about what a wedding planner does, what services Mrs. T Weddings can offer you. I really hope that wherever you're at in your wedding planning journey, it really is a success for you. So DM me at Mrs. T Weddings on Facebook, at Mrs_T_Weddings on Instagram, or mrstweddings.com for my website, and there's a contact page on there. Okay, thank you so much.